Hi, class. This is just some of your feedback for your portfolios this week. And there's a lot of great starts. These only were required to be a skeleton, basically. So let's look at this. I love this image, and it doesn't link to anything, so that needs to happen. You may want to change the text. And make it a little bit bigger. But I do love this, and I love it with this image, and I love how you've broken this up too very slightly. And everything is very legible. This needs to be darker. That's kind of hard to see. We really don't see what you do until we get down to here. So we kind of want a way to know what you do right away so that anybody landing on any page will know without having to scroll. And let's see. I think this is not, I think you want to reflow this so that we don't have one word down here. Okay. And nice shot. This needs to be a little heavier. Of course, here too. Okay, here. Okay. You may want to include a link here to your work, right? Okay. This you want to only use, I think you should try and make it original. If you're a photographer, that might be something that you want to do, is kind of keep your whole site eventually pure with just your work, okay? I'm assuming that this is found, or that it came with the template. The colors work and so forth, for the most part. So let's go here. Nice, and some great things here. This, your infographic, and this that you did with Pete, I think that we want to break that up a little bit and put it with graphics. Like maybe we have a second portion so that you keep your photography separate. All right, I think that would work for you. Okay, a little darker. Okay, and ordinarily we align this left. Okay. Congratulations on starting your master's degree soon. I hope you do that. Okay. Nice, San Antonio. Again, this needs to be a little bolder. Yeah, could be a number of shades that will work here. I do like that this doesn't scroll below that. And then your blog. A little heavier. Okay. And then you'll have a few more posts. All right. Very nice. All right. Great job. Just a few things you want to tweak, and then you'll start adding your photography, I think, to your blog. And I recommend that photographers post a photo and then in the blog give the technical too as how they shot it, because people will follow you to find out sometimes if they really like the shot. All right. Good job. Colette, we need a little bit of this, I'm not sure should touch right here, but we need a drop shadow. It's not separating at all right here. So you need something to separate it. This is very small and it looks upside down. I know that it isn't, but it feels that way. So I would work with that a little bit. If it means bringing this up here so that instead of having the flush at the top, the flush is at the bottom, so it looks like it's right side up. The navigation needs to be a higher contrast for sure. Hard to read, but the image I like. You say with a twist in a couple of places, so I think we need to be very consistent about that. Only say it in one way when you're referring to one thing. We've changed fonts. So here's the thing. We want to maintain the same font throughout. Well, you do have it here. You've got a sans serif here, which works. Okay. I'm not a fan, and you couldn't have known this, I'm not a fan of slanted or italicized headings. Or underlined and bold. So you've got 3 forms of emphasis going on here. I'm not sure that you need all of those, right? This background, the color is working very well. However, it's a very noticeable and memorable Wix video. So I recommend removing that. You could find something that's just a screenshot that's similar to it maybe, but I would not keep that. And everyone should be using Grammarly.com to go through their work and test for all of their grammar and punctuation. There is a little more space here than here. This is what's working. The thing is, it has to be consistent. All right. Illustrator will be capitalized, and I'm not going to go through too much of that. You'll want to do that. Adobe, flop that B and that D. Okay. All right. Okay. Same thing with the italicized special font. This is working. Your grid is really working. This, you may want something like this there. This is a great shot. And this is working for you. This is okay. There needs to be a little more contrast between the text and the image, but it's okay. Same here, so we can read the name. Everyone should be careful about cropping off their thumbnail, okay? Your thumbnail should be have just as much padding as your image would need, okay? And I'm not a big fan of infographics mixing with photos. I think we saw that on the last one. These I would make all white, I think, to match this. There are only so many things you can do with this. You can look up the branding guide for Facebook and Twitter, and it will show you exactly what you can and cannot do. But you can make it in white. And this is adorable. That could be up here. It's just this doesn't have framework, you know, is a thing. So we don't see the grid and the space between that we need. All right. And this is just a drop down. So in that situation, you're going to make that a page instead. Okay. Your contact, you can move up here. And your resume, you can put here instead of more, just put resume. And so then scooch these over a little bit so you have resume, blog, and contact instead of a drop down. Drop downs are not real effective a lot of the time. They cover up content, they cover up images. Okay. All right, so let's get your blog. Okay, these fonts are not made for all caps. They're only made occasionally maybe for initials, but they're really not made for use with all capitalization. That's not what they're designed for, those display fonts. Okay, very interesting shot. I want to look at this again. Okay. Here's the thing. You are showcasing visuals, If you are a writer, you really want to showcase your blog. Okay, so you've got two things going on, but your homepage really says writing. So you'll have to, I think you need to make a choice in this sense. You could make it writing, and then on your blog you could have your photos and write about them. And you can just say all photos, you know, give yourself a tagline. That would be one thing you could do. But I would only do a couple, well, I would do like 3, no more than 6 images up here, so we don't have to scroll. And I would change this font to something a little simpler. All right. The spelling definitely needs to have some work, okay? The section provides examples. We want to take a look at that. Put everything through Grammarly. You should do that, all of you, for the rest of your time at Full Sail and really beyond. Everybody uses it, okay? Especially use spell check, if nothing else. All right. I'm seeing a lot of colors. I'm not sure I remember these from the style guide. But anyway, we got to make sure that even when it's on the yellow that we can read that very well. We need the contrast. We don't have it much with the orange and the yellow. And there's some wording here you might want to check out, okay? When you say, I'm a big people person, I have a bright aura that brings up the mood of everyone around you. So we've changed who we're talking about here. You started with I and then went with you. I know this is a quote, but I think that needs to be reworded. I like that you have everything over here above the scroll. I like that. Here, you just need to fill this out. More contrast here, okay? And put Adobe before Photoshop because that's what people will search as well. Okay, I think maybe that should be centered. Maybe each of these should be, well, maybe not. I guess it's all right, but it definitely needs to be higher contrast. And so what we have here, we've got a few, let me see. I'm looking at this N, okay? There's certain letters that you can really tell. So see this N here? It's totally different from this N. And that means we've got like 1, 2, 3, maybe even 4 fonts on this page, okay? So we want to really scale that down to 2. 1 for headers, 1 for body copy. This, if you wanted to put your answers in here, that would be one thing, but you need to eliminate any questions, okay? What needs to be done first is, you might say, you know, the first thing is, or how do you get started, you know, you can take that off. So if you're going to put something like that up there, make sure it looks like a pitch or a proposal, okay? Okay, and you're going to fix this up and make sure that your ovals and circles are all the same. So this is the shape you're going for. This should also be that shape. This is also a different font, and if it's not a different font, it's certainly all caps, okay? Yeah. Okay, so just some cleanup on this. I would probably simplify to 2 colors, or 3 colors maximum. Okay. Okay, and you want all your headers to be consistent, and they're pretty close. You're using a lot of the template. Okay. All right, good start. Okay, this was an interesting one. I love the layout here. There's probably some intellectual property issues with the image of someone and some of the things that are here. But this was a good intro, and I believe this was 2 as I went through for the most part. It wasn't going anywhere, however, unless it's huge and has a big image. Okay. Okay. And I was curious about the spelling. Okay. I'm glad you put Adobe. And I'm curious about, did you take these photos? If so, then you want to give yourself a credit line or begin writing those blogs. Okay. For sure. Okay, since you're saying that you're writing, but you also say photography, if that's the case, then all the photography should be your own, right? That's for everyone. All your photography should be yours if you list photography as a skill. Okay. Okay. All right. Let's see. You have your subscription. Let's. Okay. This should come after subscriptions. Contact. Come after events. Okay, this for the story, who am I? That is going to be your about, and that's going to come right after this, because that's how it scrolls, and you want it to come in the order that you're scrolling. And same with this. If it's at the end, you want your contact at the end. And you can just say portfolio. Just make sure that all of these are in order. Okay, the same here as when you scroll. All right? All right, good job. I'm anxious to see more. Okay. Okay. I'm very cautious about duplicating images in the same location with the same person unless it's telling a story. Kind of tells a story, okay? It's almost like a little animation, so I don't have a real problem with it because we don't have a lot of other things with it, so they definitely go together. But keep that in mind. We want to get rid of that space. Okay, anything that we don't have a post for yet, Nicole, we want to disable that, okay? Which means this as well. We're going to disable that for now. Okay, we do kind of overuse this image. It's kind of one of the only images we've got. Just keep that in mind. The colors are all working. Just keep it in mind. All right, very clear what you do. Very clean, I like it. About me. Okay. Okay. That will have to be disabled. What you want is a page that actually has it here for SEO, keywords that can be searched so that your site will come up. All right. All right. Okay. This has got to have a little more contrast, right? It's too dark. Okay. kind of like going back to a new page for everything. Again, that's too dark. All right, nice work. Look forward to seeing more. And this is going to your site, so you're going to continue your brand across your social media. Nice work. And when you create projects, everybody, over the next year, you want to think about your brand. Okay. Fascinating. A little busy. It's a little bit busy. We've got to streamline this to where we can actually read the fonts, and we want to make sure if you've got all caps here, then the others are all caps. Okay. Okay. This we need to work on the legibility of that, spacing and so forth. Probably the exclamation points would probably come off. This is just fascinating. The background, I think, may need to be a little simpler so that we can really see everything. And not sure this needs to be here. Probably on the template. Again, try not to put text over an image. It's really hard to read the navigation, which probably should just come up here. And we want to make sure we've got equal spacing. So you see how much you have here? That's what you want over here as well. And you want to stick to the same font for your headers and your body copy. The colors, you might be able to pull it off, but it's not quite there. Not quite there yet. I like that you don't have to scroll. You do want to get rid of that gray box. Okay, again, the same thing with the display font. It's not, this kind of font is only meant to be used for upper lowercase. All right. All right, I would just say graphic design here with the capital D and take this off. I think that will read nicely. That's just me. And then this. Okay, you just want to make sure that you're consistent. Go through and check any spelling or grammar. You might consider a small message box, but you have that here. So this is really where you're going to put any of your skills. All right, good. You could put resume. That would slim that down. All right, great start. Hi, Ben. This is a really nice site, and I actually showcased this a little bit to some of the campus students yesterday. They love this. They think it's really legible. They love your videos. This is too hard to read. It's really not promoting you. It might work fine, you know, as a signature underneath this, but it's not, it's kind of by itself, and we don't know what's going on. We don't know what your service is until we come way down here, right? So that's something to think about. They loved your work. I love how it scrolls no further than that. And everything is clear. Your videos, interestingly, they get better as we go down, it seems. They just really loved some of these. Let's see. Just making sure there's... Okay, so I have a feeling you went through this pretty well. Here's something, though. You see how we overlap? You might have to put... make sure that's not transparent. Make sure it's opaque so it's not going over that. I mean, yeah, it might look a little different because you're going to shorten your header a little bit. It's going to look like that. But I think that's what you definitely want to do there. Okay. Okay. Beautiful. Okay. little hard to read here. I don't know if you maybe need a slight gray, close drop shadow maybe that doesn't really stand out much but helps it separate. We have a different font there. Doesn't bother me too much. I'm thinking it's this. Pretty much everything's just really clean. And so I really have no complaints about that. A little light, you know, but if you're reading it on a desktop, it's probably fine. This is definitely a blog, so somebody's going to want to read through that. I'd like to read through it at some point. But how do we get back? Okay, we go there. Okay. Okay. Very nice. Contact. Okay. I feel like there's an introduction of a new color scheme there or something. Okay. Very nice and good work. All right. So not a lot to fix. You might want to just make sure that your keywords are working as far as your SEO. You can, you know, I didn't go through these yet, but you, as a photographer, you can also talk about, you know, the technical as well, and how you shot something. And sometimes, like, you know, if you used a certain camera, maybe people will be searching that. Okay, so think about your keywords. Keywords are going to be up here too. That's something that SEO will find in your navigation. Also links that you can link back and forth to your friends, professionals that you that will still provide credibility for you. Those links will also increase your ratings. All right, or rankings. Sorry. So nice work. Very nice. All right, Stephanie. Nice, beautiful photo. And I kind of liked this. I sometimes send newsletters. I like that. You want to update this, put your name there, and I think you can remove that even without a subscription. Let's make that resume. Okay. Okay, so this, you have that there. Okay. Okay. All right. Very nice. Okay.
YouTube, I would like to introduce myself. My name is Stephanie. Recently, I decided that I needed to embark on a journey to work on what I'm most passionate about, journalism.
All right, I think I looked at that maybe. Everything is clean and nice. This is the only thing that troubles me on this page. Make sure that this is a little hard to read. You can, I don't know if this is issue or not, but you can insert issue. This may be issue. Okay. All right. I think you have this story you wrote and this one, but not these. So you might just want to focus on yours if you can, and maybe put them in a blog. Let's see. Okay. Okay, a lot of people will relate to panic attacks. They are more prevalent than ever that I can think of. Okay. All right. I click on these. All right. Okay. Make sure that your all your social media is carrying your brand over this color and the text. I like that you tell us exactly what you do. All right, great start. Okay. All right, I can read this. Okay. That would go to your contact page. Try not to have one word on a line. And let's all take years off so that you don't have to update it in 6 months. Okay. Very nice. Make sure we don't skew anything. Okay, so you want to fix anything like that. This will have to be an Illustrator file so that, and I think you probably created it in Illustrator, but it needs to be so that it, a vector graphic so that it is sizable and stays super clean no matter what. And like we talked about before, we don't want to cut off images or faces and things, and we do want to have a nice border around these things, some maybe a grid with some spacing. Also, let's rename everything. Okay, rename your files. That's really important. Okay, so that's your graphics. Just say graphic design. It doesn't have to say that it's a student project. It really doesn't matter. Just say graphic design. This is your photography. Nice. You do have to watch intellectual property, you guys. While you're a student, you're protected under fair use laws, but once you graduate, you are no longer protected by that. And suddenly, you won't be able to use some of the images if they have, Nike or anything like that on them. Those would have to be blurred out. So you have to be very careful about that. That goes here. So the About Me would go in here. That's going all the way to the bottom. Yeah, so again, make sure that, and try to align these two, okay? Like these things. Make sure that they're in the right order, the same order as if we were to scroll down. This is going to be About Me. That's going to be your graphic design. And really, you don't need to put it there because you've already got a gallery, so just put your gallery there. You don't really need a mission statement, to tell you the truth. You're taking up a lot with it, and this can be in your About. So you don't need that at all, really. And your skills are going to go, let's see. Your photography is going to go in front of your skills, and then your contact is going to go down here. All right, so you may have to play through this video to remember just what I was saying as far as the order, but terrific start. It's going to look great. All right, great job. Ashley, this is loading a little slow, right? You saw where it was one solid and then this came up. So you want to make sure that this image is optimized. A smaller file. Okay. Probably doesn't need a period there. It's not really a sentence. Okay. Creative director, I can tell exactly what you do. Need a little bit of space here and try and align those letters there, your last two. Make this probably a little bit bigger. And maybe the way to do it is to extend the Ashley, because this is kind of a, I don't think you can go smaller with that. Okay. Clean. Not sure you need that. Okay. All right, not much scrolling. Good. Okay. You'll want, okay, so you give a little bit of indication there what that is. That's good. Okay. Okay. Try that left align. It's easier for people to read. Okay. Okay, these are going there, so you want to be consistent with your brand. You won't need these if you have them here. Okay, so go ahead and take these out. Okay. All right. Nice. You'll just probably add more work as time goes by, right? But keep it just as clean as you can. All right. Good job. Okay, Hansel. Very clean, very good. You tell us exactly who you are and what you do. Make sure that there's no name recognition here. Photo isn't usually the best choice for a logo. You may just have put that there as a placeholder. Your name would be fine. Okay. We want to make sure we don't have placeholder images or text. Okay. Try to have the same number of lines here. I'm not really a fan of cutting images or videos when we scroll like this. Just keep that in mind. It doesn't always show your best work. All right. Check out your spelling. Make sure you use Grammarly.com. Make sure there are no placeholder text. Use some of your friends' images. Ask to use theirs and give them a credit and link back to their site if they're a photographer. All right, so disable this until you have some blog posts. All right, good start. Christina, I see who you are and what you do. I like that. Not my favorite font here. I think they're both a little too decorative. This might work, but then this has to be simple. And if you've already, I think maybe this needs to be smaller, what you do, okay? I'm not sure this is needed at all. Make sure you use Grammarly on this. Try and find a different thumbnail, okay? Something that's a little more attractive. You can even make one that has this on it and upload that. Take a screenshot of that page and put it there. This is a little large. This image is a little bit big. I can't see you on one screen, okay? I have to scroll to figure this out. So that means it's about 4 times the size it needs to be, okay, for a headshot. It might look different if it were some other kind of image, like a tall skyscraper, but for a headshot, a little big. Okay. We wouldn't be able to use this image, okay? Disney's very picky about those things. Okay. Now, you want to be consistent with these. Like here you've got Chrissy, moi, and here Spinelli's Closet, and here. So try and be consistent with your name so that people can grasp your brand, all right? A little space here, you want to take that out, and there. Okay. All right, let's see. Let's try not to duplicate anything. It was very clean on the first page. It's getting busy now, very busy. And hard to know what I should be looking at exactly, okay? So be careful of that. Like this looks like a duplicate, so we don't want to duplicate. We don't want text over images that, you know. We don't need, let's see, you're talking about your marketing services. So let's try and have this the same length as these and have each of these one line like this, okay? It could just be coaching. And try having all these left align. This one's the one that doesn't fit. These are all round in a way, some part of it, and this one isn't. So consider that. This is also solid while the others are line art. This is a broader line, and so is this. But double check the brands and make sure you're allowed to do that. Okay? That should have been a resource, I think, for you. Okay, testimonial. Try not to have one word on a line. Okay. Okay, that testimonials, about, testimonial services. Okay. Okay, and then we go, all right, you may not need this here, okay, because you've got the contact, and I don't think you need it there because you've already got it here. Okay, so just once is fine. All right, great start. Hey, Alex, this is a great shot. Might want to bring it up a little bit. The thing I really want to talk about, it's clean, Alex. I like it. The thing I want to talk about is this. This needs to go into Illustrator and have these made the same width, in my opinion. Otherwise, it doesn't look professional yet, even if you did this on purpose. It's one of those things that I'm not sure that it's on purpose. And if you need help with that, come into campus and we'll open up Illustrator. You may know how to do that and it may not be an issue. Okay, but we definitely want to see your logo as a vector graphic. I feel like I should click on these, but they don't really click. So, okay, we start with photography. So why not just put photography up here and start and include this. You have this, I think, already. So we just want to put things in once. Interesting. 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 Okay, again, we're cutting things off. So, you know, weigh that out. Interesting. Okay, I'm still not a fan of these infographics. Unless you've got like 3 or 4 of them, they don't always work unless they're working with your brand. Like if it's black and white, you know, just keep it in mind. It's sort of out of place. Or maybe if you had more space, right? The spacing isn't the same. Maybe that would help it. Yeah, okay. Pretty big for a card. Okay, I think these need to be much smaller. Much smaller. They're a little hard to view as they are. Just a little big, okay? And I think that they're going to look better when they're smaller. Not as small as this, but definitely a fourth of the size it is now. It's too big. And then videography. Okay. I enjoyed the wrestling video. And I love this image. Okay, so I think you want to, this is good. Let's streamline your photography, your videography. Let's just streamline those and make these smaller. Okay, make these showcasing boxes much smaller. This, it shouldn't be a parallax scrolling. Parallax doesn't work very often, to tell you the truth. This is gorgeous. I think it needs to be further up, like maybe right here and about me section. So it would be right under this. And then we'll see how this works. This is right, it's large, but you know, I think that if we go right into this, that's going to look nice. Okay, it's going to look cleaner. And then streamline and eliminate some things. All right. Yeah, so right now, I think that could be a scrolling page. Well, because it seems to be on one. Okay. So you have, it's almost like you have two sites here, Alex. Two templates. Okay, so that would mean you don't even need this down here, all that. Okay, because you're just going to go to it, and that would be better. Put photography over here. All right. This is a great start, and you've got some things that you have populated, and so it's going to come together over the year. And you want these to go to your social media and carry your brand through, which is going to be this, some of this. All right. Better to have just a couple of things on your Instagram or on your site that are really good than feel like you have to have a lot of things like this and your other. I know you didn't shoot this, and you'll need to give a credit line, but this and your about image are really great. Okay, I know they're not yours, but they make for you a great site for yourself. All right, everybody, I like where you're going on these things, and you'll change a lot over the next year. Be sure when you're creating projects that you're thinking about how they look with your brand and how you can bring your brand into that project. All right? Good job, everybody.